Right now, you can pick up a used M1 iPad Pro for about $500 or $600, depending on the screen size. For around $50 or $60, I believe I have the best solution for a budget keyboard case for any iPad Pro. Hello and welcome back there, YouTube. It is your host, it's V. Let's get started. Right now off Amazon for around $60, you can pick up this keyboard case for either of the iPad Pros 11-inch or 12.9-inch, and they also have an option for the 5th Gen Air. There is a coupon code for 22% off at checkout. Prices are around $60. This really might be a very good budget option for any iPad Pros out there. This is one to maybe really consider. Inside the box is the usual stuff. You have the USB Type-C to Type-A charging cable, the instructions. Unlike the one by Chisona, this one does not have Velcro. This keyboard case is made from ABS plastic. It has a nice soft plastic touch to it. On the side has a USB-C charging port, the on and off switch. This is rocking Bluetooth 5.1. It takes about 2 hours for a full charge. It gets about 80 hours before it needs to be charged again. This keyboard has a kickstand. This keyboard case has a tearaway design. It's kind of similar to the Logitech Folio, so it's the same design. It's the same style of keyboard. This is more ideal for the desk and not the lap. They also give you plastic coverings for the cameras for the back side of the iPad. The Apple Pencil will not charge with a sleeve on it. The Apple Pencil can stay securely on the bottom of the iPad. There's a holder for the Apple Pencil too, so when the keyboard is closed, it is securely protected. Therefore, it's easier to travel with. There is an option to turn off the trackpad. Usually that means danger. Is the trackpad and keyboard any good to justify spending $50, $60 on this product? I will say the keyboard case does feel pretty solid for being quite inexpensive. So far it holds up pretty good for that. On the right side of the keyboard case has the indicator lights for Bluetooth, pairing, and caps lock. They do give you 2 plastic covers for the cameras. For any of the older iPad Pros, either of them with 2 cameras or 1 camera, there are 2 different cutouts for each one. All you have to do is pop them into place, put the cover on the iPad, put the case on the iPad, make sure everything is lined up, and it's that easy. I will say the case is pretty thick. It will offer some decent drop protection. The kickstand is equally as sturdy, so the iPad can be put either in portrait or landscape. Unfortunately, the Apple Pencil will not charge with a sleeve. There are trade-offs with everything. I will say with the kickstand being quite sturdy, the iPad can be adjusted for whatever angle, so it's a perfect tool for drawing, either in portrait or landscape. Either way will work. Overall, the case itself is actually pretty good, so I really have no complaints with the case. The keyboard part will attach to the case with magnets, so the Apple Pencil is nice and safe inside of the case, so it's a little bit easier to travel with. The keyboard case does offer auto wake and sleep. If you are like me and you do like some good sci-fi dramas with a wonderful cast of characters which spans over a dozen books, X-Force by Craig Allison is a series to really check out. Pre-order now for book 16, which does drop in December. Right now with my promo code, you can get 2 free audiobooks, 30 days for free, and after the free trial, it's $14.95 a month. You can cancel at any time. Re-listening with Skippy and Joe is such a wild ride. This series is one worth checking out. To pair it, hold down Function plus C to enter Bluetooth pairing. The indicator light will flash blue for a couple seconds. Go to Bluetooth settings on the iPad, find the keyboard. It does take a few seconds to show up. Connect to it. It's pretty straightforward. I will say with this trackpad, it is a little bit jittery. Seems to go a little bit quicker than I prefer, so I do tend to turn down the sensitivity just a little bit more, so a little bit less than half, just so it's a little bit slower. That's just my own personal preference. Surprisingly, for this being budget, the trackpad actually works pretty good. 1 finger clicking and dragging works just fine. 2 finger scrolling up and down works just fine. This does have all the native Apple gestures. Ironically, some of the more expensive ones do not offer the normal Apple gestures, but here this has everything. Any application that offers pinch to zoom, the browser, the gallery, Photoshop, this does have it natively. 3 fingers for Stage Manager and multitasking are here. All the native Apple gestures are here. Overall, the trackpad here is not bad. The trackpad doesn't feel as good as something from Logitech or Apple. It's not bad. It does feel a little bit hollow, but being able to do all the native Apple gestures, it does kind of offset the hollowness a little bit. The build quality for the trackpad and and the keyboard case will not be anything from, let's say, Apple or Logitech, but I mean, it's passable, especially for that price point. And even on top of that, you're given all of the native Apple gestures. Here, with this trackpad, everything works as intended. Like, I do like this, that they give you the option of having a keyboard, which is angled or can be flat, because having a keyboard more on an angle, it just gives a better typing experience overall. The keys do feel a little bit hollow. When typing, you don't really get that satisfying click to it. You get a full-size QWERTY keyboard. I really haven't noticed any issues while typing on this thing. It doesn't give that satisfying click. Compared to like the Magic Keyboard that has a chiclet scissor switches and that has that satisfying click to it, this just feels a little bit hollow. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's passable. It will get the job done. It's quite decent for what it offers. This keyboard is backlit with 7 different colors, 3 levels of brightness, so I mean, it's your pretty standard stuff. Overall, the keyboard does work pretty good. On average, I can get about 50 words per minute with my usual typing test. The keyboard does feel a little bit hollow. It's not the best typing experience out there. I don't have to look down, really hunt for the keys. It's a standard normal QWERTY layout. It's not going to be as good like the premium ones out there, but for the price point around $60, overall this keyboard is better than compared to like other third-party companies, and this is cheaper than Doko, and overall it's a good keyboard case. It's not going to have the best typing experience. The keys do feel a little bit hollow underneath while clicking each one. For what it is, at the end of the day, it gets the job done. If I'm looking for a keyboard case on a budget, this will hold me over for a few months until I can maybe get something better, but in the meantime, this will work just fine. At the end of the day, this keyboard case is not perfect. You can tell this keyboard case is budget, like typing, the trackpad. It works good enough for that price point because especially the trackpad does offer all the native Apple gestures, so that alone is pretty much worth it, because I've reviewed other budget keyboard cases for the iPad Pro, and a lot of those don't really offer pinch to zoom, 3 fingers for Stage Manager. The keyboard does feel a bit hollow, but it's good enough to hold anyone over for a while. So a keyboard case with a tearaway design, pinch to zoom, a decent keyboard option. It's backlit, it offers decent battery life, it's USB Type-C, it has a very strong kickstand, all wrapped into a package for around $60. Like, this is a very good keyboard case. Any high school kids out there, any college kids, anyone on a budget who has an iPad Pro who needs a good keyboard case. If you can't afford the Magic Keyboard for $300 or the Logitech Folio Touch for $200, even if $100 is outside your price range, this sits around $60. It has all the bells and whistles you need, especially for that budget price point. So, like always, it's V, smash that bell, subscribe, and stay classy. Peace.